What's up everybody, Jason from Jason's Exotic Reptiles back at you with another video. You want to see what an adult Burmese python can grow to? Ask Florida. I'm just kidding, today we're going to go through a Burmese python growth rate. So the Burmese python, it gets 30 feet and 500 pounds, right? That is not correct. They do not get that large, and I want to show you a bunch of different examples from babies through subadults through adults. I'm going to show males and females, and let's dive right into it. If you're looking for boa growth rate, go check out a video I recently made. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video, but right now let's dive into Burmese pythons. So babies, I just had a litter or a clutch of newborn Burmese python babies. We're going to show what they look like probably a week or two right out of the egg. And this is, or maybe a month or two right out of the egg. But this is a little baby pearl Burmese python. Tiny little guy. I don't know the gram weight because I don't actually weigh my snakes, but beautiful little baby. As babies, they are super bitey too. So really hissy little things. This one's behaving for me, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gives me a little love nip, and that's all I can ask for. But these guys will calm down, become really great as they grow. This is about how big they are when they hatch out of their egg. Tiny little guys. He's only had a few meals. He's going to be ready to go, and he'll be on the website likely by the time this video posts. The next size up we're going to show is about a 1-year-old Burmese python. Now, this right here is one of my albino pieds. Really pretty snake. He's in shed right now, so he's probably super feisty. But let's pull him out to show what about a year-old Burmese python looks like. This is under average feeding, but really pretty snake. He's about maybe 3 feet long. You can get them a lot bigger. So growth of Burmese pythons is going to be highly dependent on temperature, feeding, and genetics themselves. Now, if you feed them a lot, they're going to grow a lot. But you also need to make sure you adjust the temperatures and you're balancing feeding with health. So if you feed this animal too much, you're going to end up with an unhealthy snake. Burmese pythons are one of those animals that are always hungry. So I could feed this animal almost daily and it will eat almost daily. Just because it's hungry doesn't mean we should feed them. What ends up happening with those animals that you push the feeding to a little bit too fast is they end up dying at about 1.5 years, 2 years old because it just puts too much stress on their internal organs. I'm going to show one more that's about 1 year old. This is a beautiful hypolabyrinth. I produced this guy last year. At this size, or at this age I should say, male and female really doesn't make a huge difference. So this is a male. A female may be slightly larger, but they really don't start excelling. I feed them all exactly the same, and you really, again, don't push the feeding on these guys. You can kill them very easily if you feed them too much too soon. Take your time with it. Don't overfeed them, no more than weekly. Give them appropriately sized meals, something that leaves a small lump, and you're going to have a beautiful animal that's going to be very healthy for years to come. Let's go take a look at some subadults and adults. This next guy I'm going to show off, this is about a 2-year-old male. Now, I don't have a 2-year-old female. Females will be a little bit larger, but this guy, he's probably about 6 feet. He's a male blizzard. He has red eyes, and he is an ivory. So a super hypo albino is what makes a blizzard. Again, he's about a 2-year-old male and has some nice consistent growth on him. Beautiful animal. As you can tell, he's much calmer than some of the babies and that little pied specifically that I picked up. But beautiful guy. Again, he is going to be about a 2-year-old male. Females will be a little bit larger. I don't have any female examples, so we're going to just dive into some adults now. This guy right here is an adult male ivory. He is a 2014, so he's about 10 years old. He's the breeder of a lot of my Burmese pythons. Beautiful animal, very docile. He's something that I could hand to a kid, and he is probably on the smaller side for a male, but he is old. He gets fed plenty of food. He eats rabbits and guinea pigs, and this is really where he's tapped out at in terms of size. So you're not going to get that 300-pound snake that's 30 feet long, or that 500-pound snake that's 30 feet long, specifically if you have a male. If you want a Burmese python and you are nervous about how big they get, I would always suggest to get a male because they're going to be smaller. Again, growth rate is highly dependent on genetics, but in theory, they should all be between 8 to 12 feet max for a male Burmese python. If they exceed that, you're probably overfeeding and pushing them a little bit too hard. This is also where I like to keep my males. He's a little bit skinny because he was just coming off breeding season. He's still putting some weight back on, but this is about where I like to have my males. I don't know how heavy he is, but he's pretty heavy, maybe about 40 pounds or so. Beautiful animal. Let's go show off a female. This girl right here is actually one of his babies. She's a 2017, so she's about 7 years old now. This is a female, and you can see she's much heavier bodied. She laid some eggs for me this year, and she may get a little bit heavier, but this is about where I like to keep them. My guess is she's probably about 10 or 11 feet. My largest female I've ever had was about 14 feet. I no longer have her anymore. I actually sold her. She got a little bit too big, and I didn't have any breeding plans, so I sold her to a home who wanted her as a pet, and she's still doing really well with them, which is nice to get those updates. But this is a big female Burmese python, at least for me. They can get larger than this, but to get them larger than this, you're probably going to be sacrificing their health at some point. Again, I can't emphasize enough to not overfeed these guys. They are absolute machines when it comes to eating, and they will eat whatever you put in front of them, especially once they get through that baby phase. She is really large. She's really heavy. I'm actually getting out of breath holding her, but beautiful animal. She's been with me since she was born, and she was just as small as that first little Pearl we had. She is also a Pearl. So same father as that Pearl over there. This is a baby, or this is actually the mom of the Pearls that are in there that we just looked at. Now that I am sweating and out of breath, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a video that's been asked for so many times over the years, and I don't know why it took me so long to do it, but we got it out there for you. If you want to see specific topics, make sure to drop some comments in the comments section. I need to hear what you want to see, or I can't make them. I don't read minds, and I certainly can't read minds through a computer. So let me know what you want to see. If you're looking for any Burmese pythons, I have about 60 of them who are going to be available on my website. Go check it out, jasonsexoticreptiles.com. If you want to join a community of like-minded keepers and breeders, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/jasonsexoticreptiles. Till next video, let's keep it moving.